What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Andy's Vintage Guitars. I am Andy and today I got a 1974 jazz bass. This pretty boy, girl, or whatever, this pretty instrument just turned 50. So it's 50 years old, half a century. Like really clean. A little bit of buckle rush. Again, some cowboy music's been played with this probably. But it is a just beautiful, perfect example of a 70 Fender bass. It's just that. So in 74 they started the black pickguard. There's a few with a taut, and if you scroll back 3-4 weeks ago, I actually made a video of another 74 with a taut guard. It was identical to this, but I had a taut guard which only lasted for a little bit, and it was actually printed, so it was a different type of taut guard. Quite rare, but yeah, this is the standard black that goes on for the rest of the 70s. Volume, tone, the covers, as I did for that 72 few weeks back, I am gonna play it with the covers. This is even a bigger challenge for me because this one has the sunburst, which a lot of people love it, but it gets in the way a little bit for me when I'm playing. So I prefer to have the tug bar pre-74 on that side, that I can leave it. I actually found that it's kind of useful with the very early Fender because they tend to warp and that actually anchors down that pickguard a bit more, so it keeps it stable. So I don't mind it on the other end, but here when I'm playing 70s I normally take it off. But I'm gonna leave everything as is because this is how I got it and this is the way it's been played, I've been told, and it's set up to perfection, you know, and yeah, it is really. It's got a set of Tomastic flat wounds, which I like on my P basses, so I'm sure I'm gonna like it on the jazz too. No skunk stripe because we have a rosewood fretboard with the big blocks and all sorts of stuff. We got a bone nut, and then we have that big logo which changed for something smaller with the serial number in 76. We have beautiful, not shiny tuners, Fender, and then we still have the serial number on here, which is one of the things people ask me all the time. Oh, I want to get a Fender from the 70s, but I want the serial on the neck plate. It doesn't have to do with the serial on the neck plate, it has to do with the 4-screw neck plate, which in 75 the serial stay there even when they move on the 3, but just for a short period of time, and then stay with the 3 bolts and the serial moved on the headstock. But people are after the 4-screw one because they're a bit more stable, and you know, that micro tilt adjustment thing, I think it works, but it's very hard to mess up with it. And a lot of people, they adjusted their basses over the years and you know, can have issues, unfortunately. So it has to be done by someone that knows what he's doing, which is not me. But I've done it a couple of times and I've been lucky because it always worked. But I have seen a lot of the 3-bolt jazz basses, Music Man, Telecasters and all sorts with actually a little ramp on the last 5 frets here, because it kind of pushes it up a little, and what you get unfortunately is you can get a little bit of that, especially if someone uses that and puts a shim as well in the neck pocket. So careful when you buy a bass with a 3-screw or a guitar neck plate, just always check that these frets are not buzzing crazy, because that could be the reason. Might be able to adjust it, or might be too late and the neck is stuck in that position. So it's always good to double check. These old basses and guitars, of course, they've been used, loved and played, and people, did their own adjustment to their standard. Also, another thing, a lot of these old instruments, they've been using flats on the basses, and in those days those flats were like what we call telephone cables, really strong and stiff. Right now, like Tomastic makes these strings, they're really smooth. So if you do buy a bass that had those really heavy tension on the string, chances are that they had to do a lot of adjustment on that truss rod. Might be right at the end, or might have some little issues with this area here. So always double check. But yeah, there's plenty of good basses out there and bargains, so go and hunt your own. So that's it. I think we've been chit-chatting enough. Let's make some noise. Alright guys, and that's it from Andy and the 1974 Jazz Bass. Thank you again for coming back. Thanks for taking the time to check my content and listening to me talking too much. But this is beautiful and it's listed on my website www.endysvintageguitars.com. It's listed on Reverb, and you'll find pictures on my Facebook page, Instagram account. You can always send me a message and say, hey Andy, love that bass, can you ship it? And I'm normally on my phone or on my computer looking for basses, so chances are I'll reply straight away. And thank you again. I'll see you next time.